Crunch time here. These are headlines. Some NPP leaders rally behind convicted Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Enchibuesiako as he returns to court in Exim Bank case. Fight against HIV and AIDS continues as Ghana aids Commission to deploy condom vending machines nationwide by the end of 2026. Digital finance surges as Bank of Ghana data suggests Momo balances hit record high of 40 billion cedis in June 2026 alone. And later on the foreign front, US-Iran put halt on hostilities for third night running as peace talks continue. We have details of these and many others all within the hour. Stay with me. Hi there, I am Mohammed. A new poll by the Global Info Analytics suggests Ghanaians are given the government's flagship policies mixed reviews, with the 24-hour economy and the Women's Development Bank emerging as the lowest rated initiatives so far. According to the survey, the 24-hour economy scored 4.2 out of 10, while the Women's Development Bank received 4.6. In contrast, the no academic fee policy topped the rankings with 6.1 out of 10, followed by the Big Push Infrastructure Program at 6.0, tax relief measures at 5.8, and the National Apprenticeship Program at 5.5. The poll also indicates that 72% of voters approve of President Mohammed's performance, while 60% believe the country is headed in the right direction. On the question of a possible third term, 65% of the respondents support President Mohammed's decision not to seek another term in office. However, the country remains divided over calls for him to reconsider, with 50% opposing the idea and 40% supporting it. Meanwhile, 63% of respondents back the establishment of regional tribunals, while opinions remain divided on the extradition of Abutrika and the race to lead the NDC ahead of the 2028 elections, where Finance Minister Dr. Kisiela Tuforsing emerges as a frontrunner in the presidential outlook. Let's look at the methodology, who are the respondents, and what really was asked respondents. Musa Dankwa is the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics, and he joins me. Mr. Dankwa, thank you once again for joining us. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much for having me, and good morning to you too.
Hello, Mr. Dankwa, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Dankwa.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, great. I can hear you now. I want to find out the objective of this latest poll. How many people did the survey go to? What were their responses primarily?
Look, every opinion poll is an opinion poll. It's just to inform the country on key issues that are burning, as you may have noticed in the report. If there are issues that are currently burning that we want to seek public opinion on, we do that. So the purpose of this survey is just to do opinion poll on key burning issues. At the time, it was Muhammad's third term. And then we have Abutrika's case, and then the regional tribunal. And of course, we will not go out there without seeking people's view about how Muhammad is doing as a president, the direction of the country, the NDC race, and outlook for 2028 elections.
Now,
we sampled around 17,700 people by telephone.
Okay.
And this is a special poll, what we call longitudinal. These very people we spoke to, we will keep calling them every 2 months, the same people every 2 months, to see whether they are shifting their views on a number of issues.
Now, how do you determine between public perception and actual policy performance? How are you able to decipher in the respondents' answers?
No, this is perception. And for us as posters, that's what matters. We're not technical experts in evaluating policies. That's not what we do. And that's not what the voters do. The voters assess based on what they know, what they hear. And that's all we can do. We don't go beyond this perception by the voters. And that is an important thing to mention.
Okay.
It is perception by the voters.
Okay.
It is what determines how they vote in the future, not what the experts claim it is.
Is the 24-hour economy, per the survey, the weakest policy so far? Or you have others?
I think the 24-hour economy is the weakest, with about 4.2% score. 4.2 score out of 10, followed by the Women's Bank. They are doing below 5. So they are the weakest policy or government policies so far, as mentioned by the voters.
Compared to your March and June tracking polls, has anything changed significantly?
This is different.
Okay.
The June poll is cross-sectional. We interview people from different places, randomly we select. This is the first, what we call longitudinal poll. This is the first telephone poll of people we've picked that we want to track their views over a long term. So we're not comparing this to any poll. As you see, we didn't put any comparison of this poll to any other poll because this is our baseline telephone polls going forward.
Okay, let's look at President Mohammed's acceptance rate, right? As against the policy rating, okay, the perception. If you look at the 24-hour economy, this is one of the major campaign policies of this government. They rode on that and came into government. And President Mohammed is highly accepted. Let's do a vis-a-vis of this.
Look, if you look at the data from the approval, 21% of them did not approve his performance. And 7% have no opinion. Now, if you look at the performance on the key policy issues, it is 4 out of 10, just 1% shy of average mark for both 24-hour economy and the Women's Bank. And with the Women's Bank, it's time-bound. I think if they see a branch open, then they will believe that it's a policy that has come to pass. For now, there's no branch. So how would they assess it objectively? I mean, you say it, but they haven't seen it, so they will not score you better. They will score you low. Now, if you look at 24-hour economy, the definition they gave to it when they were campaigning has shifted a bit from what they are currently doing. What they are currently doing with 24-hour economy is much more a program rather than what they call 133 approach. So they have to probably go back and correct the misconception people had with the 24-hour economy, which they have caused it themselves.
Now, if you look at where the country is headed, respondents give it 60, right? Now, is this because of economic improvement or they just have hope in this particular administration after the election?
I couldn't hear the first part of your question. If you could repeat that, please.
I'm asking that government headed in the right direction is pegged at 60. Is this because of the economic gains or they simply have hope after the election 2024?
I don't know what I call hope, but they have experienced past administration not too long ago. And when at the time you ask them, are we heading in the right direction or wrong direction? It was wrong direction at the time. And if sentiment changes, people's perception change. And if they feel something is being done differently now, it shifts that kind of perception. They believe, in their view, whatever they have used as a measure, that Ghana is now headed in the right direction.
Now, your earlier polls showed unemployment, for instance, as one of the key concerns of respondents, despite President Mohammed's approval rate. Has this changed? Mr. Nako, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Dankwa. Mr. Dankwa, if you can hear me, I was asking that earlier polls you've conducted suggested that unemployment, the doomsday, for instance, were key concerns of respondents, despite giving President Mahama a thumbs up. Is this still in there? Is this still a key concern?
I mean,
I think technology is not our best ally this afternoon. But let's move on and touch on other stories. I'm sure later on in subsequent belts we'll engage Mr. Dankwa. But he's the Executive Director for the Global Info Analytics. Now, the Ghana AIDS Commission has announced that Ghana will begin deploying condom vending machines across the country by the last quarter of 2026 as part of efforts to improve access to condoms and strengthen the fight against HIV and AIDS. The machines are expected to be installed at strategic public locations, including lorry stations, mosques, stadia, and shopping malls, to enable people to obtain condoms privately without direct interaction with vendors. The Commission is also seeking to extend the initiative to public institutions, including washrooms and ministries, departments, agencies, and financial institutions under its national HIV and wellness policy. The announcement was made during a dissemination meeting in Accra on the 2026 HIV estimates and projections, which review the state of Ghana's HIV epidemic, identified gaps in the national response, and outlined future interventions. I mentioned to you that we have Dr. Prosper Kambon. He's the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission. Doc, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you and good morning to your cherished listeners.
Right. Let's look at the rationale for these vending machines. Is this because of the increase in numbers? Is this because of lack of awareness?
Not exactly. It's the vending machines are part of our national HIV prevention strategy. Hitherto, the Ghana AIDS Commission had condom vending machines across the entire country, for which you would drop in a coin of 50 pesos and you can have a pack of 3 condoms. But over the years, these machines have become obsolete. They have become destroyed in many places because some areas, somebody goes with a lot of coins and then empties the whole machine and then prevents other people from getting the condoms. Other places, people just destroy the machines to get access to the money that was put there. We have developed a new condom and lubricant strategy.
Okay.
We've taken concerns over the period about how people feel these condoms can be appropriately distributed. Looking at the fact that the purchase of condoms, especially in the age group that we are targeting, the 14 to 25 year age group, has some amount of stigma going with it. You can imagine a young person of that age going to a chemist shop to buy a condom. There is a serious stigma with that. So we want to make condom services readily available and at convenience of people. We also want to make it a bit mundane, that people can have access and also allow others to also have access, with the machines being user-friendly. Because we don't want a situation where somebody goes to empty all the condoms in one place and denies other people from having the condoms as well. So we factor that into the condoms and lubricant strategy as part of our national HIV prevention strategy. We know that if we're able to do this, it will go a long way to reduce new HIV infections, especially in the age group we are talking about, 14 to 25 year age group.
How many machines are we looking at reintroducing? And why did you choose these areas? Stadia, lorry parks, and mosques, so on and so forth.
Well, these are places of gather, and these are places where a lot of people, you can reach out to a lot of people at a time. The number of machines, we can't deploy every machine everywhere, but it's a phased out project where we will start to look at some of these high risk areas, especially nightclubs, beer bars, condoms, and places of gather. Then eventually we'll roll it out to the tertiary institutions, the lorry parks, and other places. But this requires collaboration, especially with other stakeholders. For example, the GPRTU. You are not just going to set up a condom vending machine without having to talk to the leaders of the GPRTU or the lorry stations, who become stakeholders in this whole process. So this is part of the discussion that is going on to get many people on board, many stakeholders on board, and then we can effectively roll out the condom vending machines. And now the type of machines we're looking at are we're looking at user-friendly that allows limitations of use, so that we can allow a lot of people to use it. We just don't want the kind of machine where somebody can go and empty it, and then you have to be refilling it for people to empty it on their own whims and caprices. But we want a machine that allows one use at a time, and then we'll look at the modalities of such kind of machines and the convenience of their deployment. Not the same type of machines we deploy it in every place, but they will be in various categories, where some may be electronic, some may just be manual in many places as well.
Let's look at the condoms you'll be vending. Male condoms, female condoms.
Yes, so male condoms, and some lubricants as well. We want to make sure that the condoms are also user-friendly. You would remember some time ago, I made comments about the fact that some people feel the current condoms we are using are a little smaller. We've taken all those concerns into the new sets of condoms we are procuring, and then to make them really more lighter and durable. You know, other people complain that our free condoms are thicker. They don't make you have that sensation. So we've taken lessons from learning from other condom producers to make sure that the new sets of condoms that we will be deploying would be user-friendly and then convenient.
How much will this cost the user?
Oh, it's virtually for free.
Oh, it's for free?
Most of it, to be for.
Okay. So does it mean it will be regularly restocked?
Your question again.
Will it be regularly restocked?
Yeah, so there will be an M&E component of it. There will be monitoring and evaluation aspect of it. There will be stakeholders who will be there to regularly restock it. Okay. And then even look at the consumption patterns, so that it will help us to actually get a true estimate of our national condom consumption, so that we can make adequate projections to how many condoms each year we have to procure.
Okay. Doc, thank you very much. Yeah. That's Dr. Prosper Kambon. He's the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission. Now, we hit the streets to find out what the reaction of the public is to this particular announcement. Listen.
I've never bought condom. Last my saw condom was here. They did the HIV test and they said if after doing it, they will give you condom. So that was my first time of seeing condom in my life. Though I don't collect because I have no use for it. Yeah. Condom is not for sex. Yeah, I maintain, if at all, like, I maintain single one partner, so I don't have a need for carrying condom around. I've never used condom in my life.
Actually, to be frank, I've never used a condom before. So I've never been to the pharmacy to buy a condom. Because growing up, I didn't know how to play, actually. So even though I was in a relationship before I got married, I never used a condom.
I've never gone to a pharmacy to buy a condom. I don't buy it. I've not yet started even doing because I'm not married yet. Yeah, so I'm waiting for the appointed time, then I shall do that. If my woman doesn't want to conceive, why not? Yeah, then I don't. As for me, I don't believe or I don't like it when we go to the hospital for family planning or anything to tie the fallopian tube or anything like that. No, not like no.
Me boy no mu ni yare nti condom kwa me hu po me na sia na me hu condom no me hu bi da me siso me hu condom me boy kra po nyi so condom da.
Oh, me feel bad, but as me too. But when you can't talk on the day, what's in the jazz? What are you doing? I mean, there are some Bahamas or the Cobajuma. You are going to, what's I got on an hour march?
Been a long time, about 3 years now, once, and it was all in my head. I had to steel myself to get to it, so I just had to lock out and then pretend I had to buy it for someone else or something. Yeah.
But why?
Why I bought it? Well, it felt embarrassing to have to go and buy a condom. I don't know. I felt like sex is a stereotyped subject. Yeah, so the thought of going to and people being around to hear you buying a condom, yeah, so it was something.
All right, let's find out how people are reacting to this on social media. Nana Akwa joins me. Nana, what are people saying?
Thank you, Lily. Well, the comments were overwhelming. Obviously, it's not everything we can read because, you know, these streets are very dangerous. When we go to Facebook, we have David Abbas. Fun fact, HIV/AIDS is spread by 38.2% of Ghana's population. I wonder where he got his figures from. Felix Owusu, are the people willing to wear them? I think the education on condom use should be increased, especially among the youth. We also have Della. It's not the availability, it's the usage. People are not using them. We need to change the campaign. Samso is asking if it's for free. He said yes, virtually for free. Lydia Yahaya, God help us. We have Komla. That is not the solution. Public education about the disease will do more than this. We also have Joseph Addo. More education on HIV/AIDS on every news portal and must be taught in schools as well. Number 2, regular checkup on health issues must be taken seriously. And number 3, Ministry of Health must do a lot of advocacy to the media. We also have here Phil's. Condom be expensive. Moreover, those selling late into the night overprice it. It needs to be very, very, very affordable. And like he said, virtually for free. Haruna, this will not solve any problem at all. Condom prices are way too high these days. See to that before anything else. Tyree, so people don't fear HIV anymore? Interesting. Bright Daniel, good initiative. I remember vividly of how public health nurses go around sharing condoms decades ago. We move over to Instagram. We have Giddison. Where is the location? I want to support them and hope it is free. You also have Del Ajo. They will still not wear it, okay? Berry says the Ashawa and multiple partners be too much. What is that? We have Chris. It will be empty by the minute. And then here, Yolo, it be free, Anna. Yes, it is free. We have here Rodigal. So that's all they can do to prevent the spread, he's asking there. Sly says, or asks, where that machine will be placed will determine if we will buy or not. I won't stand in an open place to buy a condom. And our last comment here, we need to fight the prostitution on Ghana's streets. Maybe there are deeper issues that need to also be addressed, but I think that putting free condoms on the streets for people to stop the spread of HIV, AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases will help. My name is Nanama Akwa. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, Facebook, and on X. Lily, back over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, convicted Ashanti Regional MPP Chairman Bernard Nchibuesuaku, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has returned to court in connection with the ongoing Exim Bank case, days after he was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment with hard labor in a separate illegal mining case. Senior members of the NPP, including MP for Fosia Ayebi, Kojo Opon Koma, Samuel Ewuku, Miracles Abuaja, are in court to show solidarity with the embattled party chairman. Let's go over the phone and engage our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Yunusa. Mutala, what more can you add? We also know that Samuel Atachi has taken over as his counsel in the Exim Bank case, together with the one that he was convicted on. And so now, does it appear that he's taken over all other cases, including the Tanwanimri one?
It's getting interesting day by day in relation to matters involving the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Nchibuesuaku. Within a week, he's appeared in court 3 times. Last week, Monday, He was convicted, sentenced, and jailed for 20 years. 2 days later, he appeared in the Tano Nimri Forest case. In relation to that case, his lawyers have written to the court asking for the case to be adjourned. The lawyers on the record in that case is Andy Apiakubi. A short while ago, Samuel Atachia did indicate to the court that Andy Apiakubi has withdrawn his legal services for Bernard Nchibwe-Siako in relation to the Exim Bank matter. And I must also put on record that Bernard Nchibwe-Siako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, was physically present in court. It is a criminal matter. And for those who remember, this is a case that is filed a plea bargaining proposal to the Office of the Attorney General for consideration. And if agreed, it means that he intends to accept lesser punishment, or even as part of the agreement, if the state wish or desire, they will withdraw the charges against him. Now, the state has been informing the court that following the new development, his new lawyers coming on board earlier, they've made some they've made some progress in relation to the negotiations that they've had with Andy Apiakubi. But the issue that happened last Monday, where Chairman Wontumi was convicted and sentenced, that, as it were, made it practically impossible for the parties to meet again. And the 30-day period in which the parties are supposed to negotiate has elapsed. And so the parties with Samuel Atachia they are asking the court to grant them an opportunity to go back to the negotiation table and then make the point that their initial engagement with the state indicate that there's that viability, there's that possibility for them to agree on something. But the court was also concerned about the fact that the law is clear that once a plea bargaining processes are filed, parties have 1 month within which to negotiate and settle the case. And in this case, that 1 month period has elapsed. So the court is actually at difficulty or what to do. And the law is saying that once the negotiation breaks down, the trial should proceed. Deputy Attorney General said, yes, they have that in mind, but also yet so that they do not prejudice the matter way of filing document, evidential possibility in this case. They are asking the court to give the parties some time. Justice Alima El Alaw Abdul Basit has adjourned the case to August 27. You know that August 27 is fully within the legal vacation, but the vacation court will be sitting, and this very court is one of the courts that will be sitting. So on the 27th of August, when they come back within a month period, they are expecting some updates, both the Attorney General and the new lawyers of Bernard Nchibwe-Siako, in this case, Samuel Atachia. So in effect, this very case confirmed that initial negotiations break down and the parties are attempting to begin new negotiations in relation to the Exim Bank matter. Lily.
Thank you very much, Captain. Now, a member of the NPP Legal Directorate, Ross Osei Esquire, said the New Patriotic Party has no problem with Justice Kokuvite, but rather her judgment on Bernard Nchibwe-Siako. Speaking on GH today, he alleges that the NDC targeted Chairman Wontumi, singled him out for prosecution and succeeded in sentencing him.
It's on record that the NPP is never attacking or criticizing the judge who handed the sentence. What we are criticizing, which is within our rights and is allowed by law, is the judgment that she handed. That is how come cases are tried at the trial court, and it goes on appeal, and sometimes it is what? It is reversed. So the fact that we are attacking the judgment doesn't mean we are attacking the person of Justice Kokuvite. We are not doing that. Every right to mention that Chairman Wontumi is a political prisoner, and it depends on how you interpret what political prisoner is. But
so what is your interpretation of
from my interpretation of who a political prisoner is, when a government comes into power and has made its mind, and Chairman Wontumi, it is popularly, everybody knows this, that the government of John Dramani Mahama has singled Chairman Wontumi out for prosecution, and they have achieved that.
Now, former Ghanaian government spokesperson on governance and security, Dr. Palgrave Boachidankwa, and security expert Emmanuel Kuting have petitioned the International Criminal Court to investigate recurring xenophobic attacks against foreign nationals in South Africa, arguing that the violence amounts to crimes against humanity and Article 7 of the Rome Statute. The petition to the ICC prosecutor in The Hague cites unlawful killings, assaults, forced displacement, and the destruction of businesses and property belonging to foreign nationals, particularly African migrants. Let's engage Emmanuel Kuting. He is a security expert. Mr. Kuting, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and very good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
I'm tempted to ask, are you petitioning the ICC because of attacks on Ghanaians that you have seen, or on all foreign nationals by South Africans?
Well, let's give a context to the petition. You know, xenophobic attack has been happening in South Africa not today. Oftentimes, when it's getting to elections, they use African immigrants like guinea pigs and frame them as the cause of all the problems in South Africa. And oftentimes, it leads to fatalities, population being displaced, and people treated in a very inhumane manner. So under the current circumstances this year, what happened? We realized a departure from what happened in the past, where we saw state complicity, where police personnel were given escort to the anti-immigrants groups to perpetuate this vile, inhumane treatment to fellow African immigrants. And you understand that the ICC is the court of last resort. So we felt that what happened in South Africa amounted to crimes against humanity. And who is properly mandated to investigate allegations of crimes against humanity is the ICC, which South Africa itself is a signatory to. So once we have given our authority to the court in terms of situations like this, and as responsible citizens and people who have been involved in security and peace building, we feel that it was right we took this step so that there will be a deterrent measure so that other African countries don't take the laws into their own hands, and we can get all form of reprisal attacks, which should not be good for the continent. Already, the continent is grappling with a lot of problems, security-wise, youth unemployment, and if you look at the Sahel, violent extremism.
Now, you accuse the South African government of failing to prevent and prosecute these attacks. What specifically were you expecting the South African government to do, other than caution these perpetrators to stop?
You see, the state has a duty of care to prevent this kind of things. We are not against any country enforcing its immigration rules, but it has to be done under the ambit of the law. I think South Africa as a state has structures that are responsible for responding to the challenges of illegal migration in South Africa, but not citizens. Can you imagine if Emmanuel Kuting mobilized youth in this country and we are going about looting people's shops and kind of beating people up, leading to fatalities, and the Ghanaian government looked away. And some instances, the Ghanaian government is even giving me escorts to perpetuate this crime. Would the Ghanaian state not be accused of complicity in the crimes? And don't forget, Africa is what we are because of our shared values. And if you look at apartheid, South Africa should be the last country to touch African immigrants because apartheid was won under the author of the blood and toil of the collective effort of Africans. And you know, Accra in those days was the epic centers where Mandela and Co came and mobilized. Even Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was specifically targeted because of his stand against apartheid. Cyril Ramaphosa, during apartheid, grew up in Ghana. It is our education, our training and values that propelled him to be where he is today. So some of us are surprised under his watch some of these things are happening. And we welcome the response from the ICC and from the South African government as well. In the initial stages, they said our petition was opportunistic. We also heard they said the ICC have declined jurisdiction, which is not true. We are still gathering evidence to support the petition we initially presented And just a few days ago, the South African government came to apologize for the first time publicly to the good people of Africa. And we understand one of the leaders of the anti-immigration group has also been arrested. So that is so telling. If not for our petition, the diplomatic route never worked because South Africa was behaving as if it's living in an island. And we reminded South Africa that some few months ago, South Africa took Israel to the ICC over the Middle East conflict. Even though Israel is not a signatory to the ICC, South Africa took distance. So equity. You cannot simply have a big lock in your eyes and then be looking at the small peck in your neighbor's eye. And if you look at the Rome Statute under Article 7 and its appendices, it talked about murder, it talked about inhuman treatment, and it talked about displacement of population. All of this happened in South Africa, which we are alleging that it constitutes a crime against humanity. And if you look at Status 28 of the same Rome Statute, it talked about the command control of the state in preventing same. So the knee-jerk reaction that the South African state have taken now, we feel is an afterthought. Okay. There are things they should have done before then. And an apology and a single arrest will not bring the lost lives. It will not bring people who lost their livelihoods and businesses in South Africa. It will not do anything to people who suffered this kind of inhuman treatment. And we feel that ICC should serve, if after their investigations, they feel that there is a prima facie case to continue this investigation to its logical conclusion. The outcome we are looking for is a deterrent measure so that no country in the world should feel that its citizens can take the law into its own hands and treat other nationals the way it did.
All right, Mr. Coutin, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Emmanuel Coutin. He is a security analyst. Now, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection is calling for stronger collective action to address the growing challenges confronting the girl child, including cyberbullying, teenage pregnancy, gender-based violence, and mental health concerns. The call was made in a speech delivered on her behalf during the 80th anniversary and speech and prize-giving celebration of St. Mary's Roman Catholic Girls Basic School in Accra.
8 decades of academic excellence, discipline, and character formation were celebrated at St. Mary RC Girls Basic School in Accra as students, alumni, parents, and dignitaries gathered for the school's 80th anniversary and speech and prize giving day, held on the theme 80 Years of Holistic Education, Contemporary Challenges of the Girl Child, and the role of stakeholders in a changing environment. Addressing the gathering through a representative, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomolati, said while Ghana has made significant progress in promoting girls' education, emerging challenges continue to threaten the development of many young girls. The minister further called on parents, educators, and other stakeholders to work together to provide not only quality education but also the emotional, moral, and social support needed to help girls thrive in an increasingly complex world.
In today's world, education, qualification alone is not enough. Our girls need critical thinking skills, emotional intelligence, and digital competence, leadership abilities, creativity, confidence, and strong moral values. Mental health comes along with many young people. Anxiety, depression, peer pressure, and social expectations affect many girls, often in silence. As a society, we must pay greater attention to their emotional and psychological well-being.
Headmistress of St. Mary RC Girls Basic School, Patience Adi, said the anniversary was not only a celebration of the school's rich legacy, but also as an opportunity to mobilize support for critical infrastructure development.
Our main aim of celebrating this 80th anniversary is to help support build up our KG block. The structure is there, but because it's an old building, it is sinking. And when it rains, we have few issues there in the room. And so we are calling on all stakeholders to come and support to build up the KG for us.
The celebration showcased the talent and potential of the students through drama, poetry recitals, cultural performances, and a fashion show. The performances highlighted issues affecting girls today, including inequality, leadership, education, and the importance of empowering young women to become responsible citizens and future leaders.
Now, it's time for the business brief.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Petroleum products have witnessed unusual price adjustments as consumers are compelled to pay different prices for the same liter of fuel 4 times in a single month due to intermittent price changes. Here's more.
From the traditions have experienced intermittent price adjustments throughout July 2026, a marked departure from the traditional bi-monthly pricing window. A leading oil marketing company, Shell, for instance, adjusted its prices on 15th July, with petrol selling at 13 cedis 99 pesos per litre and diesel pegged at 15 cedis 95 pesos per litre. On 17th July, the prices changed again, with petrol rising to 15 cedis 20 pesos per litre, while diesel went up to 17 cedis 70 pesos per litre. Again, on 21st July, new prices emerged, with petrol dropping to 14 cedis 38 pesos per litre and diesel selling at 17 cedis 42 pesos per litre. Today, 27th July, the OMC has published yet another adjustment, with petrol now selling at 14 cedis 78 pesos per litre, while diesel goes for 17 cedis 82 pesos per litre. GHOne Business Research indicates that the frequent price fluctuations are attributable to geopolitical tensions between the United States and Iran, as well as the depreciation of the Ghana cedi against its major trading partner, the US dollar. Consumers are now left uncertain about what the next pricing window holds.
Now, Paul Ofori is head of research at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, and he has joined us for a conversation. So, Ofori, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Lily.
Now, our research indicates that the U.S.-Iran conflict, as well as the depreciation of the cedi, are responsible for the price fluctuations. Are these the only contributing factors?
Well, Lily, these are not good times to be a Ghanaian consumer. In fact, these are prices which are unprecedented, if you ask me. One would have expected that in a time where you have prices escalating on the global market, oil marketing companies, even though we are seeing some signs, perhaps would have respected the deregulation policy of maintaining a bi-weekly price, within a specific window for the time to elapse before making adjustments, if any, to prices. Unfortunately, that's what we are witnessing. In the space of 3-4 days, we have seen prices change as well. And so it's like we are just at the mercy of these oil marketing companies. And this is the time one would have expected the NPA to step in, to step its foot down, making sure that the policy within the downstream in terms of deregulation is respected. So we are just at their mercy, at their whims and caprices. They are changing prices, and nobody seems to care. And that has been the order of the day over the last 3-4 days, even till this morning. And so we hope that the NPA will wake up, and bring these oil marketing companies, in line, in the sense that yes, we are seeing prices rise up. However, what has been the impact in terms of a price floor. The price floor was introduced for a reason. There's an objective behind the introduction of the floor price. And so if we are not seeing oil marketing companies respect the floor price within that window, then it is very much concerning as far as export prices are concerned, really.
What should government be doing to cushion consumers? You recall that government put out some measures not too long ago to cushion those of us who purchase fuel.
Well, Lily, to be honest with you, come the next window, we are going to see prices even go way further than we are seeing currently, in the sense that prices are still skyrocketing on the international market. And you being a net importer, definitely you will be affected, whether directly or indirectly. So again, government has to come in like it did in the month of April and May, and maybe relax some of the taxes if you ask me. Better yet, suspend the collection of some of these taxes, especially the 1 cedi levy, which has been collected over the last 1 year. So this is the time for some safety net to be brought in to cushion the consumer, just so we are not worse off in the next window, which starts, come the 1st of August.
But looking at the debt stock in the energy sector, do you think that temporarily suspending that 1% is going to help in terms of revenue generation?
Absolutely. I mean, if it was functioning in the absence of the 1 cedi levy, and if we've been able to collect that levy for 1 year, after all, we have not been told what it has been used for, how much it has been collected. So there is no level of accountability or no transparency regarding the 1 cedi levy. And so in a time where consumers are in difficulty, we believe this is the time for government also to step in and say, look, I have your back. I'm going to suspend a few of the taxes and levies on the price build-up, just so you can have a bit of relief. So I'm not sure it is far-fetched if consumers are asking that some taxes be suspended, at least in the interim.
Give them some reprieve.
Things return to normality.
All right. Mr. Ofori, thank you. That's Paul Ofori. He's the Director of Research at COPEC. Now, Ghanaians are stashing more cash in their mobile money wallet than at any point in history, with total float balances reaching a new peak of 40 billion in June 2026. The figure highlights how deeply digital finance has embedded itself in everyday transactions and how much trust people now place in mobile financial platforms. According to the Bank of Ghana's latest payment systems report, mobile money float balances climbed from 28.9 billion cedis in June 2025 compared to 40 billion cedis in June 2026, representing a year-on-year jump of over 38%. Now, the surge indicates that wallets are no longer used for only sending and receiving money. They are increasingly being treated as safe, accessible places to save by households, traders, and small businesses across the country. Growth was also recorded across the wider mobile money space. Total registered accounts grew to 84.6 million in June 2026, up from 76.4 million the previous year. Active accounts also rose to 26.4 million, pointing to a steady rise in regular users of digital financial services. That should do for the business brief. Up next is the latest entertainment. I beg your pardon.
The business brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
After years of rumors and speculations over who would take on the mantle of Black Panther, Marvel Studios has finally unveiled its next leading star. British actor David Johnson has been confirmed as a new Black Panther by the film's director Ryan Coogler. Johnson, known for his roles in Industry, The Long Walk and Alien, will portray the son of the late Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa in the third Black Panther film. The announcement was made during Marvel Studios' presentation at Comic-Con International over the weekend, where Johnson joined Coogler on stage alongside co-stars Letitia Wright and Winston Duke, officially ushering in a new chapter for the blockbuster franchise. Black Panther 3 will be released in U.S. cinemas on 15th December 2028.
And today, I want to tell you guys in this next film, he grows up, he comes of age, and we have to find an incredible actor. You guys, in this hall, you guys might know some of his work. He was great in a movie called The Long Walk. Alien Romulus. I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our new Black Panther, Mr. David Johnson.
I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kevin.
Hostilities for a third night on Sunday as they look to give peace talks another chance. Nearly 2 weeks of conservative strikes almost quashed a landmark peace deal signed last month. U.S. officials say President Trump is willing to resume talks, but warn that military assets are still moving into the region, and Trump is ready to act if no progress is made. Hostilities resumed after Washington accused Iran of targeting commercial vessels in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, violating a memorandum of understanding signed in mid-June. Iran retaliated by targeting U.S. assets in Jordan and the Gulf states. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis announced a blockade on the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, ramping up pressure on the U.S. and reeling world economies. On Sunday, Iran confirmed that it had also halted its retaliatory campaign amid ongoing diplomatic talks, also warning of severe consequences if the United States resumes strikes. That's it for the international news, and that's it for The Belt. I am Lily Mohammed. On behalf of the entire team led by Awuside Janyo, we say thank you for watching. Bye for now.